There is no way that I can tell you with the right emphasis and with the right degree of sincerity how truly delicious this was. It was beans, just beans with some pork and some dumplings, but it turned out so very, very well. I was in a good frame of mind when I cooked this. I'll tell you about that later. What did I use? I used red kidney beans, the least expensive one I could find. The next time I do this, I will get a better quality beans. Not to say this wasn't good. Anyway, first things first. I had a large pot and I washed the beans. I poured the beans into this large pot of cold, clean water and I washed it, rinsed the beans anyway. Now, in doing this, I noticed that some of the beans floated on top, which is okay. I simply picked them out and threw them out. So when you do, you will want to wash your beans before you cook it. Pick them out, throw them out. Simple as that. Then, I put it into a slow cooker, my good old slow cooker. By now, all my friends and fans recognize my slow cooker. In the beans, I added some coconut milk, and to the coconut milk, I added enough water to cover the beans plus. Now, I don't know if this was instrumental in making the beans so delicious, but I did measure the water, and I measured it to be 2 inches. Maybe that had a lot to do with the success. 2 inches of water on my beans. And once I did that, of course, all I had to do was, by the way, notice I did not add any salt, no salt. Once I did that, I replaced the lid, put the lid back onto my slow cooker, and then I set my slow cooker to low, and then I went to bed. Maybe it's because I just feel so very good today. I went in my backyard and I realized that I do love my backyard. When I win the lotto, I'm going to buy this place not because I want to own it, because I don't, but because I love being here. And I'm going to renovate it. I'm going to have enough money to maintain it and enjoy it. But anyway, back to the slow cooker. The next morning, this is what I had. My beans were fully cooked. So, into the slow cooker, as I said, I added water and coconut milk, and then I let it cook overnight. And this is the result. Now, then I added some salt pork, lean salt pork. I have a secret place where I buy my lean salt pork, and I love it. It's not all lean, of course, but a lot of it is lean. Once I did that, I had the frying pan. Of course, you know, I had a little bit of a cooking oil, coconut oil, and to the lean salt pork, which has been sort of browning, I added onions. Now, this is sort of misleading. I added a lot more onions than you see here. I added some onions. In addition to the onions, of course, I added all the things that I particularly like. And once again, as a reminder, I did not add any salt. I just thought it was unnecessary. Besides, I think one should add salt at the end of the process, don't you? Anyway, so while the salt pork and the onions and so forth was cooking, I added Scotch bonnet pepper. I added half of a Scotch bonnet. I should have added more. It just wasn't spicy enough for me. In addition to that, I added some Italian seasoning along with some thyme. Now, this is strictly personal preference, okay? You may want to add whatever you want. So, I added some Italian seasoning and additional thyme, and there you have it. Then I mix it all up well, and once I did that, and I got it all nice and brown, just the way you see it right here, I added the beans that had been cooking all night in the slow cooker. By the way, the additional liquid that you saw, that was not wasted. I also added that. So every single bit of the liquid was added to my pot. And you know what? I thought it was so very good. Once it came to a boil again, I stirred it well, and then what I did was I put it on simmer. That's right. Just prior to doing that, I did taste it to make sure there's enough salt. There wasn't, so I added enough salt that I would like. Then, as I said, the secret here is to simmer. I added the lid, and then I had it simmering for an additional hour. That's right. Slow cooking. Now, there are two things that I must tell you about. One is I did add a tablespoon of brown sugar. I did. And I did add some dumplings. But instead of using butter to my dumplings, I used coconut oil, made my dumplings, and added it to my pot prior to it going to simmer, of course. And this is the result. It may not look very good, but I gotta tell you, it tasted so very, very good.